Hey everyone, welcome back. I've been to 104 countries now and territories, and today I spent one day in Macau. Now, Macau is a very interesting place. It's known for its gambling. It's right off the coast of Hong Kong. It's a small island, lots of casinos there. But what's really interesting about this place is it has a strong Portuguese influence because it used to be a Portuguese colony. And so I stayed away from all the gambling stuff and I just walked around the streets. Very interesting, old Asian feeling city and town. And then you get into parts that are very heavily influenced by the Portuguese, you could see right here. So I really had a great time. Lots of people, a lot of energy in the town, lots of cool old world craftsmanship. All the streets are done in these beautiful square little tiles, all done by hand. I caught some of the craftsmen doing some of the work, and they're doing it right in the midst of thousands of people walking by, no problem. As I walked by some of the narrow streets, I saw these cool old machinery for making cables for the fishing industry. It was fascinating. And then there was this amazing place where they had set up for all the food vendors that were very traditional foods, lots of seafoods, crab, lobster. And I could not believe the variety and the energy in this little area. It was just crazy down a narrow street. And of course, I had to sample some of this fantastic food. This lady made me some great peppers that were delicious. Lots of great fresh vegetables everywhere. Lots of opportunities to take pictures. This Lamborghini going down the street in this little corner fruit market. Just everything was perfect. The lighting was just right at night, just as the sun started to set. And I captured as many pictures as I could of just the cool ambiance. Now, again, I was not really excited about going to Macau. It wasn't really like, this is a great place. But I found it very interesting just to walk the streets and look around and enjoy the whole thing. This is down the casino area. I walked down there once, and as fast as I went down, I left and went back into the narrow streets and just to kind of feel the vibe and the culture of this city. Now, of all the places and everything I saw in the entire city, this guy was by far the best. He was a one-man show. He had a little work cell set up. He was super lean in the way he did everything. He had his trash can off to the side. He chops the crab legs, throws them over to the side into the trash area. When he gets done with it, he was just super efficient, and his food was fantastic. I filmed him for over 45 minutes, and then I had his meal because it was just so delicious, very, very spicy. But he was an interesting guy and worked super hard. I've never seen anybody work so hard, so consistently, and never let up. And the Chinese, predominantly this is Chinese tourists that are there, they were just as fascinated by him as I was. They were all waiting, just waiting to have him cook their food. Look at him go. Everything he did at such a high speed. It was just crazy, so entertaining. It was like going to a Broadway show, and on top of that, you got to eat it, and so it was really, really good. He mixes all the vegetables in. It's a big lobster he was cooking, takes the crab, puts it in there. It's all been now cooked and everything, so now he's just mixing it together, mixing the spices in, then he gets ready to plate it. It was just so amazing. There he is, plating it all up, and then he hand it to someone. It took him about, 4 or 5 minutes to do a meal, and then people just dug in and they went crazy over this, and of course I did too. You can't see how messy I got. My nose was running, my eyes were running. It was crazy, but it was crazy good. At the end of the day, I was caught up in his efficiency, his skill, his attention to detail, and how well he had everything set up to work quickly. Just one person, and he was feeding tons of people because he didn't miss a beat. This is a great example of a well-defined process, and boy, was it well-defined. And on top of that, wonderful tasting. Probably some of the best food I've ever had. So if you're ever in Macau, make sure you check out the street vendors and all the great street food. Just so many cool things to do there, and the photography is fantastic. There's all kinds of interesting things to shoot, particularly in the evening and at dusk. And then I ended the whole trip by going across the longest bridge in the world. That China built this bridge. It's just hard to even comprehend. It's, 40 kilometers long, maybe even longer than that. They built 4 artificial islands. It goes underwater, it goes above the water, and I rode this bridge from Macau to the Hong Kong airport. It took me about an hour and a half total to get there on a bus, and it was just a beautiful structure and really a great accomplishment in terms of infrastructure. And I always say, watch out for China. Look what they're doing. For us to build a bridge like this would be pretty difficult. For them, they just make everything happen. Here's coming out the other side. You can see the huge channel. It went underneath the water so these huge cargo ships can go through. Okay, well, just had an amazing day in Macau, and now I'm on the longest bridge in the world. going from Macau over to Hong Kong. The adventures never stop. Hopefully you enjoyed this quick video on Macau. Very fascinating place. I would go back.